Wow, what an exciting time for Other's Legacy Farm YouTube channel. Over the last couple of weeks, we have had an incredible amount of jump in subscribers. When I took over this channel, I think we had 30 subscribers. And in about, I don't know, 6 months or whatever, I think we got up to like 45. And then we got up to like 70. And Mamaw and Papaw were really excited about it. Then we hit 100. And you know, we were going to throw a party, and then out of nowhere, like in 2 days, we got like 45 new subscribers. I know it's not a lot, 145 or whatever we're up to now at the time of this recording, but that's cool. I mean, it's just some dude from Ohio and his mom and dad working on a farm, just showing people the things we're passionate about, showing things that are interesting, and we try to make it fun because we're a typical American family who's goofy, and we love each other, and we crack eggs on each other's heads. So thanks to all the new subscribers and to all our current subscribers as well. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Today we're going to talk about preparedness. Preparedness. It's officially spring in Ohio, and the weather's starting to cooperate. It has been the rainiest and windiest late winter that I can remember in a long time. But spring is here, and with it comes the mud and all the good things that spring brings with it. I wanted to talk this week a little bit about preparedness. Now, with spring comes a lot of new chores. Gardening ramps up. But when we talk about preparedness, what are we talking about? Are we talking about just food, or are we talking about other things? Well, let's see. So why all this talk about preparedness? Well, I mean, if you look at the state of our economy, I mean, look at it. Groceries are higher, cost of utilities are higher, the cost of cars are higher, the cost of rent is higher, everything's higher. And I mean, our country is being run by idiots like this, and we're kind of at their mercy. I mean, you've seen what happened with COVID. You've seen what happens now in Baltimore with the bridge collapsing, with supply lines are going to be down, and things like electronics, things like car parts, like it's going to get worse than it already is. And you need to be prepared. So when you go to the grocery store, get an extra can of beans or two. You know, you have the space in your yard, you have something, you have a patio. Start growing your own food. Like, be prepared, because we could be headed for a really bad time here in the States. We could be headed for a crap hits the fan moment. We don't know. And I'd rather be over prepared than under prepared. So these are the things that are important to us, because no matter what happens, at least we'll have something, and we just encourage other people to do the same. Obviously, the big one for us is the garden. Every year, it's a big thing for us, growing our own vegetables and then canning them. This year we've extended the garden. If you see past there, we've got some new planting boxes, and we extended the garden by about 20 feet or so on the back end there. So, and if you saw our video a couple months ago, you would have seen that. But yeah, start your own garden, even if it's small, even if it's just like some potted plants or something on your patio. Just do something. Herb garden or a tomato plant or cucumber plant or something. You can start somewhere. It doesn't have to be a huge half-acre garden or anything like that, but it's good to start somewhere.
Ain't none of it for you guys.
quick sidebar.
Well, we got some plants out here that need to have some heat. Tomatoes and some other things. And then over here we got our herbs and stuff that got some cilantro and stuff like that. It doesn't need a whole lot of heat. But I made this little cover for at night, and we take it off during the day. And we had this old sliding glass door that this thing will slide right over at night. And it sits right down. And then at night the plants can stay warm with this heater going. So yeah, it's just some of that mylar that's like a blanket for survival needs or whatever. We had some loop or some hoops. And just drilled a hole and stuck them in and draped the mylar over it. Works pretty well. Keeps the heat in at night. And that's all there is to it.
Here's something that doesn't get talked about a whole lot: airtight containers. You want to store something like breadcrumbs or pasta noodles or oats or something like that for a very long time. Airtight containers. You can find these any grocery store or Amazon, but you'll want to grab some of these. You want to have candles, even like these big things with like the 3-in-1, or even like the scented candles. Any candle will do. If you got no electricity, any candle will give light and heat. Candles. Cleaning supplies. I think sometimes people tend to overlook the importance of having extra of cleaning supplies on hand, and also things like toilet paper, paper towels, extra dish towels, extra bath towels, just things like that, just in case you need that extra stuff. And I think that's the kind of stuff that I think people tend to overlook when they think about preparedness. Obviously, things like toilet paper, COVID showed us that. Dish towels, extra napkins, extra paper towels, just the things that you need to keep your place clean. Make sure to store those in airtight containers as well. If you have pets, invest in one of these airtight pet containers. A lot of them have wheels too. A lot of them can be really big. I have a small dog, so I don't get a ton of food ahead of time, but if need be, I do have the capability of being able to feed my dog for weeks, even months on end. It's also a good idea to have a bunch of extra batteries laying around, and one of these battery cases. These things are sweet, and it holds just a crap ton of batteries, like 256 batteries. But for things like flashlights, emergency equipment, you'll always want to have a bunch of extra batteries on hand. You'll of course want to have a first aid kit as well. Just keep extra bandages. You're going to keep extra things like cool packs, gauze, tape, things like that, antibiotic cream. Also keep things like knee braces, elbow braces, one of those long kind of brown wraps that you can put anywhere on your body. Heating pads, keep a couple extra heating pads unopened. Think ahead and think about what you'll need for the future. And when we talk about preparedness, we also want to talk about developing skills. Now, we've already talked about the importance of gardening and canning, and I know some people think about gardening and canning and think about like that's woman's work. Or think about that, well, that's the woman's job. No, that's the man's job too. We're talking about a team effort here. So things like gardening and canning, men, those are your jobs too. However, both men and women should be able to know how to use a circular saw. They should be able to know how to use a drill, a chainsaw. They should be able to learn how to change a tire. These things are important not only for preparedness, but for self-reliance. Because if you need something fixed, you can fix it. If you need something built, you can build it. So men and women, both, learn how to use some tools, learn how to garden, learn how to can. Oh yeah, hold on. And also learn how to use hand tools, the old-fashioned hammer, the saw, the square. Learn how to use a square properly. These sort of things come in incredibly handy in situations where you need things fixed, you need things built, you need to take care of yourself. There are skills that I still need to learn. I've been slacking on learning the in and outs of canning. I'm still trying to wrap my head around gardening. Sewing, I want to learn how to sew. I want to be able to learn how to fix my own clothes. My my farm coat's got this big hole in it, and I want to learn how to sew it and patch it up and fix it. Instead of just buying a new coat, because this coat's only 4 months old or something like that, just sew this one. Who cares if it looks like crap? It's a farm coat. I'm not going to any fashion shows.
And I'm not your bra. Whatever, dude. Whatever. Peace. God bless.
Learning how to cook from scratch. I don't know if it's a lost art or not, but I don't know if many people my age cook from scratch as much as they used to. And I know certainly as a society, we don't grow our own food and cook from our own land nearly as much as we used to. But I think it's important to learn how to do that. I think it's important to learn, even if you buy vegetables from the store, just being able to learn how to cook from raw ingredients to a finished meal. I think it's an important skill to have, and I think it's an important skill to learn. And it can be actually quite enjoyable. Once I started cooking, I think I started cooking for myself in the I don't know, mid-20s. It's sad to say. But as far as like no more ramen noodles or Taco Bell, when I actually started to learn how to cook and to be able to make a meal for essentially a fraction of what I was paying for terrible, terrible food. But I realized as I'm getting older, the importance of the nutrition in my food and where it comes from, and to be able to cultivate it out of the ground myself, and to be able to prepare it myself, and to put it on my plate and the plates of the people that I care about. That's just an awesome feeling. So I encourage people to really kind of recognize the importance of being able to cook from scratch. Rain collection, very important. We have a water barrel here. In fact, we have several around the property. It's very important to be able to collect rainwater and have a way to sterilize it. If you have a sterilizing system, some way, a UV or filtering system of some kind, that'll work. And if you don't have that, ensuring a way that you have a method of boiling the water, being able to create a fire, being able to have electricity for a countertop stove, things like that. So rain collection, extremely important. Make sure you get some sort of filtration before it gets into the barrel, just a simple screen just to keep all the crud out of the barrel. As much as you can, and just make sure you have a way to either filter the water or a way to boil it so it's safe to use. Another aspect of being prepared is recognizing community and building a community with like-minded people who share your goals and your kind of vision for being prepared. They can be your neighbors, they can be your family, they can be your friends, but it's people who maybe skills complement yours. So I know it's kind of daunting learning how to garden and learning how to use tools and learning how to care for animals and all the things that it takes to run a homestead or to prepare for whatever happens in the future. Building community around people who have maybe different skills than you that could complement you becomes really important. You know, I'm not trying to be like a super negative Nancy or anything about the state of our country, but I think I'll trust my neighbors a little more than I'll trust these idiots in Washington.